Hello, welcome to the FA Women's National League Cup final, which sees #United take on Newcastle United. A big day for both clubs and a really exciting day too for both sets of supporters here at Kenilworth Road. Jason Stevens, the manager of #United here. And here they come. Millions of people tuning into their content on a regular basis. The men's team came first and then followed the women's team. After a tweet in 2019, Spencer Owen, the owner and creator, putting out a tweet asking if any local teams needed funding. And that led to the merger with AFC Basildon in 2020. And now here we are. And here in Newcastle, 22,000 people watched them in their semi-final matchup at St James's Park against Portsmouth. They have big ambitions. And with the backing of a Premier League club, this might be just the start. And there they are, the Geordies who have arrived in big numbers here. Faces painted, ready for the big occasion. Over 3,000 fans here today, predominantly Newcastle fans, plenty of coaches leaving Newcastle this morning, but there are a fair few #United fans too, a fair few who exist online, as you may have noticed. You may be part of them. Plenty of content to enjoy if you are a #United fan. And they have lofty ambitions here, both sets of fans. Well, outside of the Barclays Women's Super League, these are the two most talked about teams in women's football. #United, created by owner and YouTuber Spencer Owen, have an incredible online following. And the team continues to achieve well beyond the expected. Newcastle have really captured the hearts of the locals. When they played at St James's Park in the semi-final, over 20,000 people were there in attendance. And the Newcastle fans have travelled to be here in good number as well. Winning this game would be the biggest achievement in either club's history. The FA Women's National League Cup final kicks off here after the national anthem. Well, this will be the first competitive match between these two. They did meet earlier in pre-season, Newcastle 4-0 winners. I'm fairly sure the players will be thinking that pre-season doesn't really matter. Are the underdogs, there is no mistake about that. There is a difference between the two sides, with Newcastle being full-time. As their captain said today, Grace Gillard, they have nothing to fear in this matchup against Newcastle.
So please welcome our guests of honour who will now be presented to the teams and official. The presentation part is Sue Hoff, MBE, Chair of the FA Women's National League, Baroness Sue Campbell.
Well, there is always plenty of formality at the start of any game. This is one of those moments. The chair of the FA Women's National League board there, Sue Hoff, leading the way. I think it's fair to say those Newcastle fans will be enjoying themselves here. They have come to represent. And if you saw the FA Cup tie earlier on this season between Manchester United and Newcastle United, you will know the noise that comes when Newcastle come to town. Amber Keegan stops there, who has been named after Kevin Keegan. Her parents, big Newcastle United fans. Big names in attendance. Well, it certainly feels as though the Barclays Women's Super League is having its Premier League moment. And Newcastle very much want to be part of that, and there's no reason why #United shouldn't be either. We will have the national anthem. Well, it is a sea of black and white around the stadium today. # will be here to fight against that, though. Gillard leads the way, leading the team, making her 89th consecutive appearance today. It's been a really successful league campaign for #United, the team currently second in the National League Southern Premier Division. Sammy Rowland is the team's top scorer in the league. She scored 2 in the semi-final as well against Halifax. That meant that this team secured their place in the final. She will definitely be the one to keep an eye on for the Newcastle defence. Macy Nichols may be one to keep an eye on for the future. The 17-year-old has really impressed this season on loan from West Ham. Newcastle United have been the standout team in the FA Women's National League Northern Premier Division this season. They look set to be promoted to the Women's Championship for next season, and the league's top scorers have a goal difference of +50. Georgia Gibson scoring the winner in the semi-final match to secure Newcastle's place here, but in truth, the goals are spread around this team. They can come from any number of avenues. Bridget Galloway, the team's top scorer, with 17. And Amber Keegan-Stobbs, named after Kevin Keegan, also in the lineup and captains the side. Important final words before the final kicks off here. Amber Keegan-Stobbs is the captain for Newcastle United. Grace Gillard saying her team have nothing to fear here. They have been underdogs this season. They certainly weren't expected to do so well in the league. Jason Stevens, the coach of #United, was expecting a top half finish. That was the aim. Second in the table, and now here they are in the FA Women's National League Cup final. They are used to punching well above their weight. Kenilworth Road looking glorious as the teams switch ends. It will be interesting to see the approach of both teams at the start of the game. This could be a long one. If we are level at the 90, we will go to penalties. So after extra time and then penalties. So there is potentially plenty of time here with the extra time. Maybe about conserving energy. We shall see how quickly the two teams start. Some atmosphere inside this stadium. The FA Women's National League Cup final is underway between #United and Newcastle United. And Newcastle were very nearly in trouble there at the back. After just 10 seconds, they will casually pass away. And perhaps it won't be a slow start to the game. Casey Elson looking to make the break, can't get beyond Apindia on the far side, and Apindia may have some more work to do here. Again, she is there to make the clearance away. Did go through a period of time where she played as a forward. Playing at left back today. Quaid on the turn. Feeds the pass wide. It's a positive start here from Newcastle United. Defensively, #United standing up to the test. The young Macy Nichols tries to bring the ball away, on loan from West Ham United this season, only 17 years old. And here is the goalkeeper, Frankie Angel. Came through Brighton's academy and has had a brilliant season, by all accounts, for #United this season. Gillard, the captain, will have a big role to play here, the leader at the back. You may have seen some of #United's videos on YouTube. Plenty of vlogs around the team, and she is the one that the team looks to for inspiration. She will play alongside Lumley at the back, who makes the header away. Also a regular face in the YouTube videos that you will see of #United. Grace Donnelly, part of the best defence in the league. Newcastle have scored plenty of goals, but they're also pretty good at the back as well. Conceded only 10 in the league across the campaign. Good cover work by Lumley to make the clearance, manages to get there before Galloway can. Gibson on the chase, won't get to the throw-in. Becky Langley, the young coach of Newcastle Women, has been with the club for 4 years now. When she started, the players were paying to play for the club, some of them anyway. A very different story now with the club going full-time. She is very highly regarded by everybody at Newcastle United. Jason Stevens, the coach of #United, has a really varied career. Was once the coach of the Cook Islands women's team, also a lecturer in business, looking after things on the touchline for #United as well. Stobbs launching the ball and making a few yards along the right-hand side. Pindia is there. Has seemingly been a target for Newcastle attacks so far in the game. She stood up to those pretty well so far. Newcastle will try their luck on the opposite side. You would feel that perhaps Newcastle would be a bit more used to playing in front of the big crowds, having done so on a number of occasions at St James's Park. Although this is, of course, a very big occasion, a very different occasion. Haley West looking for an option. along this right-hand side as Hashtag United look to build their first meaningful attack of the game. Baker's challenge, and it drops here for Rowland. Well, the head collision and Emma Kelly involved, and so as a result, the break in play. Normally so industrious in that midfield for Newcastle United. Real box-to-box player. And a player who has a really important role. And she will just receive some treatment here. The medical team will have to go through their test. What was the challenge? It looked rather innocuous from that angle, but maybe just got caught by the boot. I don't think there was any suggestion of any kind of malice. Good news for Newcastle is that Emma Kelly is back up onto her feet here. Watching on to make sure that everything is okay. Newcastle United coach previously worked with the Nottingham Forest Men's Academy, worked with the likes of Matty Cash and Ben Brereton Diaz, who is now with Sheffield United. Back underway here. And it's Hashtag who are breaking. Ball rolls away though from Apindia and goes out for a goal kick. Newcastle have been in good form of late. They've won their last 8 in all competitions. There was a draw for Hashtag last time out against Plymouth in the league. They were 2 ahead as well. Newcastle may just be in a spot of bother here. And they have conceded the first corner of the game. Excellent pressure by forward Rowland. Kelly is back onto the field for Newcastle United for this corner. They were trying to change the angle of attack there, Hashtag United. It looked as though the moment had gone. They've won it back here. Delivered in towards the front post and turned away by Stobbs. Kelly doesn't look entirely comfortable. Back into the action though. Corner doesn't make it beyond the front post. It's easily dealt with by the Newcastle defence. And here is Galloway, the team's top scorer. 17 for the season in all competitions for Galloway. And she was the target from the throw-in. Wayne Catchpole, the referee, wasn't too happy with where the throw-in was taken from, and Leah Cataldo is pushed back a couple of yards. And she'll maybe be happy with that because she didn't manage to reach Galloway in any case. Good challenge, good out there. Newcastle not hanging around. Cataldo's long ball over the top. Again looking for Galloway. Again dealt with by the Hashtag United defence. It's Lumley who's the one to get there. In the early stages here, neither side giving away too much. Galloway, and room for the shots. And again runs into Lumley. Could be a really interesting battle between those two here in this game this afternoon. Scrapping to bring the ball away, trying to feed on towards Rowland, who scored 2 in the semi-final in the match against Halifax, so that Hashtag could be here. And she's there, applying the pressure again. And she was obstructing play so that Potts couldn't get there. And Potts will get the free kick as a result. Newcastle giving the opportunity here to drive through midfield. And McQuaid has found some room on the left. And here is Barker. Barker's delivery, looking for Galloway, and the first shot on goal is wide of target. Nice build-up from Newcastle United. McQuaid was able to scramble the ball into a wide position here to find Barker. Nice awareness here from Galloway to feed it back. And a really good chance for McQuaid, who didn't really look as though she had her balance here. Puts the chance wide of goal. More smiles from the Newcastle fans here. I saw the camera. Some work to do here for Newcastle at the back. And Cataldo calmly passing the ball away to safety. Potts. Able to find a teammate with the pass. Frankie Angel able to grab hold. Only 20 years old. Used to play county cricket as a wicket-keeper. I guess the skills are kind of transferable to goalkeeper. Cataldo given the chance to break. And Galloway was in a good position. Well, in fact, she wasn't in a good position, she was in an offside position. Excellent work by the #United defenders. Gallard and Lumley at the back have an excellent relationship, and as it stands, they are making things fairly awkward for free-scoring Newcastle United. Went full-time this season, Newcastle. Train at the Newcastle Falcons ground, the rugby team. Get to enjoy all of their facilities there, including breakfast, lunch and dinner. Contrast that with #United, and they are training twice a week at a school in Billericay. The underdogs, though, so far standing up to the test. Newcastle with the best chance, though. McQuaid, who put that one wide just moments ago. Enough to constitute a free kick here for Newcastle, which will be taken by Cataldo, who is more than happy to send it back before Newcastle look to come forward. Quaid was the target with the pass. Frankie Angel hasn't had too much to do so far. Had to get there quickly, with McQuaid making her way through. She does well to win a throw-in. Gillard again making the header. Rain starts to come down here at Kenilworth Road. Been a mixture today. Plenty of good sunshine. And now this. Away by Potts. Newcastle trying to open up some space for a quick breakaway, but they are being well tracked here. And off goes Barker. Barker's pass. Running to Griffin. Cataldo's done well though. And the cross does make its way into the area. And it's trouble at the back as #United conceded own goal. Newcastle United lead here in the FA Women's National League Cup final. And it's a disaster at the back for #United. Looked as though they had defended ever so well. Cataldo sticking to the task. The ball ricocheted up into the air. And it's poor defending in truth. Will go down as an own goal. Apindia gets the final touch. Other angles all wrong. And now his side have some work to do. Well, the #United defence will be ever so annoyed because they really been defending well up until that point. There have been very few shots on target. Now with confidence in their step, Newcastle will come forward again. Galloway's pass though is short and it's sent away to safety. The ball isn't too safe for long. Rowland's touch. Easily picked up by Cataldo, who had such a big role to play in the build-up to the goal. Chasing down lost causes. Newcastle profiting from her run. A fortunate moment here for Apindia. Was challenged. And now Percy feeding around the corner, was looking for the runner. Hayley West trying to make some headway. Does win a throw-in. Into the danger zone is the chance, and it is an equaliser. #United respond quickly to conceding. They've got themselves back into this one. Nichols is there with the goal. Some response from Jason Stevens' team here. Hooked into the box by Percy. And that's a lovely touch into the far corner beyond the reach of Grace Donnelly. The 17-year-old Macy Nichols with the strike. Cue wild celebrations, they are back into the game. And at the other end, Newcastle will look to punch straight back. And this game all of a sudden has come to life. It's that no fear attitude that has become synonymous with #United. the flick on did ever so well in the build-up to the goal. Brilliant pass. And I'll give credit to Nichols. She still had so much to do. Off goes Elson here. Can't get the cross into the area. Runs into the back of Gillard. India can perhaps breathe a sigh of relief, having scored the own goal in the game. The team are now back into it, and they've worked a really nice passing move here. This is just dropping into these spaces in between midfield and defence. Newcastle finding it difficult to pick her up. Rowland was the target with the initial pass, and she's after this one as well. She won't get there. Newcastle tried to make the clearance. They run into the goal scorer, Macy Nichols. West Ham loanee has had a big say in this final. Got her team right back into this one. Here's Barker. Barker still going. The initial shot was well blocked. And it's turned away by #United. Good work back there by Lumley. Gillard was slightly lucky there. She left the ball. Does well to retrieve it. Here is Kelly. Seems to have recovered after her earlier injury in the game. Newcastle attacking the front post. That's where Galloway was waiting. It's well gathered in the end by Frankie Angel. It was a ball just where every centre-forward wants it. Just beyond the reach, though, of Galloway. Lively game so far. It's the captain stops. Trying to work themselves out of a tight spot here. Kelly battling away to win the ball back. Squaring the pass. Newcastle, as they often are when they're attacking, looking for the quick transition here. Taldo often brought up into the attack as she was for the goal, trying to advance on the left-hand side. Neat and tidy from Griffin, who wins it back for #. Pretty happy with her team going ahead here. Perhaps also happy with the equaliser that came. So far, # going toe-to-toe with Newcastle here. Gillard's long searching ball. Forward is India. McQuaid with the up and under. Looking for Elson, who was out on that right-hand side. Unable to connect with her teammate. Flicked on towards Rowland. Taken away by a determined challenge from Potts, who doesn't look overly happy with the performance so far from Newcastle. Newcastle arriving in really good spirits, having been 2 behind last weekend against Wolves in the league. They went on to win the game 3-2. It's fair to say the team arrived in really high spirits. If you spoke to anybody in the camp, they would have told you that. The team showing such good resilience in that game. Nice, lovely combination play. McQuaid into Elson, who races away. And there was plenty of room for Barker, who was on the left-hand side. Newcastle just unable to open up that space. Does well under pressure to get the ball away, had Rowland right on her shoulder. And now Gibson. Gibson turns, lofts in the cross. Well, the cross evades Frankie Angel, the goalkeeper, who was diving across to get there. And she'll be fairly relieved to see that one drift away. Newcastle claiming a corner. Hashtag players certainly not in agreement here. An inviting delivery, but there was nobody for Newcastle there at the far post to meet it. Percy tangling in midfield with Bridget Galloway. And the ball has been spilled here by Donnelly and tidied up in the end by the Newcastle defence, much to the relief you would imagine of their goalkeeper. Barker was racing after it. The fans were in high spirits. Angel calmly passing away. And Donnelly doing the same at the other end. Nice touch by McQuaid. Happy to watch that one all the way to safety. Well, he doesn't look so happy, Stevens, on the touchline, but he must be, given the reaction of Hashtag United in the game. Good response, having conceded, scoring the equaliser, giving themselves a chance here. All square as we head towards the 29th minute of the game. Not so happy with the challenge. No interest from the officials. And again, Hashtag's defence doing well to deal with the threat of Galloway. Quaid. Well, she's found the runner. Elson is there. And so too is Lumley, not for the first time in this game, who comes across the cover. Courtney Lumley having a brilliant first half. Nice pass from McQuaid around the corner. Elson's touch was good, but she was quickly met by Lumley, who came racing across. Certainly the kind of weather for sliding challenges. Emma Kelly stops Hashtag United before they can get going. Such a big role to play for Newcastle in midfield. The shield in front of the defensive unit. Trying to make their way through midfield. It's pretty congested in there. And Newcastle win the free kick. Foul on McQuaid. It's taken quickly, and McQuaid shows really good footwork. Looking for Galloway with the pass. And Rowling trying to spin. That's the whistle from the referee, an unfair challenge by Kelly. Angel lofting one forwards. And she'll get the flick on as well. Percy was trying to find a teammate with it. Was there, so too were the Newcastle United defenders, and Galloway here. And they managed to get beyond one of the #United centre-backs, got beyond Lumley. The other one's never too far away though. Galloway was there. United trying to go through the phases here, not given the chance to do that. Gallo claiming a handball. She's a crowd favourite. To the cause. It was a handball and it will be a free kick. Angel's long clearance away. That's away from danger. There haven't been too many Newcastle United chances since they scored the goal. There's one coming up for #. Georgia Griffin unable to find the target with the strike. Saw the opportunity to go for goal. Has won a corner. Comfortable header away. Nichols' touch. Back into the area, sent wide by Apindia. Rowland pulls away from that forward line. To a wider position here, they might need a helping hand. And it was a risky pass across field, and Newcastle are given the chance as a result to break away. Stobbs unable to feed on the pass though. There's a big opportunity there for Newcastle. Had room to break into. Langley, highly valued by the club because she is so focused on winning. Asked in an interview recently what makes her happy, and that's what she said, winning. Newcastle were in a winning position, but they have sacrificed that. Heading forward again, McQuaid with the pass, can't link up with Galloway. And Angel makes an easy collection of the ball at the other end. Kelly's touch towards Stobbs. Come all the way through here, and Barker can attack. Barker up against Lumley, can't get beyond the #United defender. Barker may get another go here. Now Gibson. Well, it's brilliant cover work by the #defence who come across. Very quickly, Gibson had two for company. Free kick as well, #. Passes header, out of play. Galloway turns, gets away from Lumley. Well, she does, but only momentarily. The battle between those two continues to rage. Lumley with a foot in again, and here is Stobbs. Away by Gillard. Back in there by Gibson. I've seen quite enough of that. Percy trying to flick on. Rowlands, industrious in that central area, drives away with the ball, and now there is room after the slip. Good interception by Stobbs, just as things were starting to look dangerous, and now Newcastle can build a break of their own. Barker into a crossing position, sends into the area, pushed away by Angel, and the push in the end was enough to get the ball away to safety. Newcastle sensing there may be a moment here to push on. Here comes Potts. Alson can't get beyond Apindia. Give things another try here. Potts delivers. Can't get the ball though into those waiting in the penalty area. Having done so well to work the angle for the cross and to give herself that chance, and didn't really deliver a cross she was all that happy with. This was the initial attack down the left-hand side by Barker, who was leading the charge. Angel gets plenty on that one to get the ball away, though. Percy pulls wide, pokes on towards the chasing Rowlands, looking to get beyond Potts here, and she has made her way into the area. Rowland sees the chance, closed down, and then the opportunity is wasted, rather, as it's hooked over the top of the bar. Brilliant work here by Rowland. Scored 2 in the semi-final to bring hashtag here, and she says she's hoping to score at least 1 here this afternoon. Chance dropped to Griffin. Never really looked set and hooked over the top of the crossbar. Kelly has a look, feeds into the feet of Galloway. Newcastle can't connect the dots. Hashtag get the throw in. West is looking for Griffin. Well, the faces here perhaps tell a story. It hasn't been the easiest of first halves. And that perhaps is largely due to the weather here. Some fairly torrential rain and some hail in the mix as well. Percy looking to get there. Wonderful awareness by Donnelly, though, to get there first. Newcastle heading straight through the middle here. Cataldo was leading the way. India has to slide to get there. And Elson right on her shoulder. Newcastle United are probing here, just before half-time. Looking for a free kick too, but no interest shown from the referee. McQuaid can't bundle her way through the traffic. Lumley and the goalkeeper in a mix-up. And Angel grabs hold just in time. Well, I think Lumley was hoping that her goalkeeper would come to claim a bit earlier. A mix-up in communication, because I think Angel was thinking that Lumley was making the clearance. There was a mix-up for the goal, the Newcastle goal. You wondered whether or not there was about to be another. Off goes Elson. Able to find a teammate in the middle with the pass. Percy's had a really good first half here for Hashtag United, battling. Been an awkward customer for the Newcastle United players, but it's Newcastle here who are breaking, looking for their second of the afternoon. Things looking dangerous in the middle for Hashtag United as Galloway spins. Gibson was there lurking. And the chance just wouldn't drop. But the pressure is definitely on here for Hashtag United's defence. Potts runs into Apindia. And the ball turned away. Newcastle looking to ramp things up before the half-time whistle here. Something you'll often see from top sides. And that's exactly what Hashtag needed. Good hold-up play from Rowlands. Absorbs the pressure and takes the heat off those at the back. Team. We're looking for goal number 2, you feel, before the break. They haven't been able to force it, but they still have time. Just over a minute until we get to the 45. And there will certainly be some additional time as well. Had been stopped in play for the injury to Potts. Challenge, but it's a fair challenge by West. It's West here on the attack. Have too much in the way of support on the right-hand side. It's a good challenge to take the ball away from her by Greenwood. Minimum of 2 minutes to be added to the end of this first half. Taldo under pressure, manages to work herself away from Griffin. Big free kick. It's been a close one so far, very tightly contested between these two. Not too much to separate them. Newcastle United have a habit of scoring late goals, something to watch out for Hashtag. Scored more goals in the final 15 minutes than any other team in their league. Off goes Barker. Barker on the run, chipping in towards the front post. Defence handling just about everything thrown at it so far. Just the one slip up that led to the goal, really. Well, there goes the whistle for half-time. Hashtag United pulling themselves level after the early own goal by Apindia, who was really unfortunate to turn the ball into the back of her own net. Nichols arrived in the box to volley in and to pull the game level. All square at half-time, all to play for in the second. Hashtag United 1. Newcastle United 1 at the break. Well, we can look back at the highlights of the first half, and Newcastle were the quicker of the two out of the blocks. Barker did well to turn the cross into the box, and the chance was there for McQuaid, well found by Galloway. She couldn't find the target though. Hashtag defence has been pretty stubborn so far in this first half, and they were pretty stubborn again here, keeping Newcastle out, but they couldn't keep them out here. An unfortunate moment after excellent work by Leah Cataldo. Apindia had her angles all wrong, turned the ball beyond her own goalkeeper. A slice of luck for Newcastle United in a game that had been pretty balanced. Hashtag United were pretty disappointed to concede here. On the big stage, Apindia turning into the back of her own net, unfortunately. But it wasn't too long before there was a response. Percy, excellent in delivering the cross in, and then Nichols with a fine strike into the far corner, beyond the reach of Donnelly. Hashtag were level in superb style. And Newcastle United have probably had the better opportunities since the Hashtag goal. Searching ball into the area here was missed by Frankie Angel, but luckily for her, nobody creeping around the back. Nelson did well here, bundled her way into the box. But the cover work from Lumley really stopped her in her tracks after her defensive partner, Gillard, had been beaten. Barker lively on this left-hand side, had plenty to say in the opening exchanges. But the touch from Angel was enough to push away to safety. Luckily for her, nobody there waiting to pick up the pieces in a Newcastle shirt. And not long before the break, Hashtag United had their opportunity to grab another after excellent work here by Rowlands. Griffin could only turn over the top of the bar. Positive signs, though, for the second half. Well, not much to split the two teams in the first half. And the statistics certainly tell a story. Newcastle United haven't had a shot on target yet, with the goal coming from an own goal. Of course, Hashtag United with just the one, so it has been a tight contest. Both teams maybe have been relatively reserved in their approach, not willing to give away too much, with the potential, of course, for extra time if we are level at the 90. Well, more cup action in a few weeks' time with the Adobe Women's FA Cup semi-finals taking place. Here's a look back at the best of the quarter-final ties.
Chelsea, early corner, in swinger, met that by the head of Natalie Björn. Off the bar, almost a perfect return to her former club, rising highest. Finnegan, venturing forward for Everton. Piemonte tries to turn, blocked. Kuhl is there in support. What can Katrina Kuhl do? Well, it's off the ankle of Chiata, but forced a save from the Chelsea keeper. Everton corner. Falls nicely. Can anyone get there? Payne is there. Snoyce wraps her leg around it. Well, she does well with the space that she had. Musovic just watching it go out of play. Everton. Katrina Kuhl. Benison is pointing and running. It will go round the back of her. Payne. Where will it drop? Onto the top of the net. Well, she was looking for the top corner and she found the top of the net. Kirby trying to get on it. Well, that's a nice move by Rytting Kaneryd into the box. Beaver Jones is there. Jankovic wide. How has that not gone in? A huge opportunity for Chelsea. Rytting Kaneryd with some brilliant work. How are Chelsea not ahead? Jankovic, Kirby. Beaver Jones is there. Fall to Cuthbert. Straight into the arms of Brosnan. Didn't have the power on it that Cuthbert wanted. Hannah Benison. Everton in an advanced position. Aurora Gali. Benison again. She's urged to shoot. She does! Into the palms of Musovic. Trying to replicate that wonder strike. Not coming today. Nice turn from Katrina Kuhl. Snoyce is making the run. She's got space. Is anyone arriving? Piemonte, no! She slaps the turf with both of her palms. Snoyce had set the ball up perfectly. Martina Piemonte just not there. Stenovic. Well, a huge chance for Everton. A huge chance for Elise Stenovic. Good save and off the bar. What impact can these Chelsea substitutions have? Aggie Beaver Jones bearing down on goal. She keeps going. Macario is there. 1-0 Chelsea. The holders open the scoring. Kat Macario with her second goal as she returns from her ACL injury. Her first FA Cup goal for Chelsea. Put on a plate by Aggie Beaver-Jones. The holders in the lead. Leopolds. Well, it's fallen short, and Piemonte gets it over to Madsen, and Benison is still there. Snoyce was in. Niamh Charles got there first.
Neville for Tottenham. Looking for the big diagonal here. It's not quite going to work out. Fowler. This is Shaw. Back towards Mary Fowler, who can pull the trigger. A double deflection and in. Manchester City lead inside the opening 10 minutes. A real touch of fortune about the strike here. The combination play here is brilliant, but how many deflections does this take? 1, 2 maybe? Spencer unlucky. Greenwood. Hemp making the move on the left-hand side. Here is Hemp. 2 Manchester City players inside the penalty area. One of them is Shaw. Should have done better, should have scored. Big chance missed. Manchester City just a little loose. Some of them will play it over to the left-hand side. England is racing inside the penalty area near the penalty spot. Clinton is there as well. It's Clinton to chest it down. Go back in towards England, who'll turn, but can only fire over. Difficult chance, she did well initially. Spencer under pressure, thumps it forward. Spurs need something, and they need something quickly. Deep into added on time here. Alexandria underneath this, Keating misses it, and England must score! 1-1, incredible! In the 6th minute of added on time, Spurs are level, and this quarter-final surely will go to extra time. It's a horrible mix-up here. Alexandria and Keating, lack of communication, and England takes full advantage. Final few seconds, England. That is it. We will need an extra half an hour. We might need penalties as well, of course. Beth England late on to give Spurs a 1-1 draw at the 90. Manchester City have got players in good positions here. Morgan. Now it's with Kelly to curl towards goal. Oh, what a save, Becky Spencer. The footwork was brilliant, and she just fingertips it behind. Neville does well to win it back. What are the options here? Really good close control. City getting players back in defensive positions. Neville again. This is Nilden. Can she dig out the cross? It's towards England! Oh, between defenders, but just couldn't keep it down. She rose so well. The scoreline has not been added to, and it will take a shootout to decide who goes through to the semi-finals. City to go first, Greenwood to take responsibility up against Becky Spencer, who guesses the right way. It's a super stop, and Spurs have a very early advantage. England, who scored in the 96th minute, put Spurs ahead in the shootout. 1-1 for Tottenham. Kelly for Manchester City. Oh, what a save by Becky Spencer. That was hit with real power by Kelly. What a start it's been for Spurs. Amy Turner to win it for Tottenham. Spurs through to the last 4 of the Cup. A 4-3 shootout win against Manchester City.
Welcome back to the FA Women's National League Cup final. Hashtag United against Newcastle United is currently at the break and is currently 1-1. Just in case you missed the first half. India with an own goal. And Newcastle United took the lead, but it wasn't too long before There was an equaliser. Nichols was there, the 17-year-old, to pull us level. And as these fans will know, these Newcastle fans who have arrived in really good numbers here, Newcastle are very much an away side. They are full-time, and so that does tend to mean they have found this and have said this themselves over the course of the season, that they are fitter and faster than the opposition. And that can be the difference maker, although so far Hashtag United have stood up to the test pretty well. Both sides have really captured the imagination of both young and older supporters as well. There's a real mix here today. And Newcastle, of course, football is a religion. It is the big passion. And the people of Newcastle have really taken this team to their hearts, as have many followers on YouTube of Hashtag United. Newcastle, the first team out here. They were quick to start in the first half, and they'll be looking for something similar at the start of the second. Newcastle tend to feel that this is their time in the second half of games. Remember, of course, if we are level at the 90, extra time is coming up. And then it would be penalties, where we still level at the end of 120 minutes of the game. Newcastle players warming back up as we await Hashtag United here. Well, they have been doing much better than expected. Speak to anybody within the club and they will tell you that the success that they've had this season is definitely not what they were counting on. Second in the league, and still very much in this cup tie here. The FA Women's National League Cup could well be theirs. Back into it thanks to the goal from Nichols. Gillard leading the way from the back. Sterling performance from her in the first half. This is it. It all comes down to the final few moments here. Half-time words by the respective coaches have been spoken. Tactics and the approach in the build-up also absorbed. Now it all comes down to what happens here on the pitch at Kenilworth Road. We look just about ready to get going then here for this second half. And luckily for the players and the fans here in the stadium, the sunshine has arrived after that horrendous wet weather and hail. And off we go. Newcastle United gets us started then here for this second half in the FA Women's National League Cup final. And the pressure is instantly on the Hashtag defence. Pindia is there to turn away. Really unfortunate moment for her in the first half when she scored that own goal. Still plenty of time though to make amends here. Here is Stobbs. And Pindia this time with a shove on the back of Alson. In front of the assistant on this near side touchline. And a free kick from a promising position here to be taken by Emma Kelly. Kelly floats in. It hasn't been completely dealt with by the hashtag defence, and it's an early chance at the start of this second half for Newcastle. But McQuaid can't keep the effort down. And it goes over the top. Nice free kick. And the initial header away by Lumley dropped to the feet of McQuaid. The effort was always rising. Changes at half-time for either side. The teams certainly do have options from the bench. Here goes Elson, set free by Galloway. Sends the cross in. This could be danger. McQuaid, though, runs into a brilliant stop from Angel. Newcastle trying to keep the move alive. Barker can't find her way, though, beyond the crowd of legs on the edge of that 6-yard box. Well, that was brilliantly hit by McQuaid, who caught that with real power. An excellent start to this second half for Newcastle United, who are showing here that they mean business. Stobbs looking to turn, not given the room to do that. Really good energy about Newcastle, though, at the start of this second 45. Clearly looking to move the ball a bit quicker. They've already, in the opening 3 minutes of this second half, carved out 2 really good opportunities. This time they'll try their luck on the opposite side of the field. The pass, though, doesn't make it to Barker. And in any case, the flag was raised against her. Well, this was the chance that came just moments ago for McQuaid. Drove it really low and hard through the crowd of players. And that's an excellent stop. Must have thought that that was destined to hit the back of the net. Angel had other ideas. And the young hashtag United goalkeeper continues her excellent run of form that she's shown all the way across this season. Always touch. And all of a sudden Barker is away, looking for the return pass. Managed to get bodies back. They'll make the interception. The crowd appealing here for a handball inside the penalty area. There weren't too many appeals from the Newcastle players, it has to be said. Kelly trying to race through. And at the other end, Nolan trying to break away. She's got the pace to get beyond one. Newcastle get bodies back to recover, though. And easily deal with the threat. Stobbs stepping away from Nichols. Looking for the lofted ball over the top. Nice control by Gillards. And Nolan gets away here from Potts. Can't connect with a teammate, and Griffin was coming back from an offside position and so couldn't get close. Newcastle build-ups often start here with Kelly. Arrows one forward, but only succeeds in hitting a Pindia. Now McQuaid beats 2 challenges, threads it through. Big moment here for Newcastle. And a wonderful sliding challenge by Lumley, who comes to meet the threat provided by Gibson. Well, this was brilliant here by McQuaid. Lost 2. And then she was unselfish as she played the perfectly weighted ball through. Brilliant recovery, though, by Lumley. Standout performer in the game so far for hashtag United. Corner. has initially been dealt with, but there's more trouble here. Gibson floating in and inviting looking ball into the box. Well, we are only just over 6 minutes into this second half, and Newcastle have had plenty of chances already. Plenty of questions being asked of the hashtag defence. The approach from Becky Langley and her team has changed dramatically in the second half. And there's Jason Stevens, the coach of hashtag United. And he's going to have to do something here to stem the flow of Newcastle in attack. Again. It's Lumley again. Spotted the run of Elson. The captain looking for the flick on from Apindia, and that's a super ball. Newcastle are in, Barker there, and it's another top save. This time the feet of Frankie Angel, preventing Barker making it 2-1. What a fabulous ball through by Gibson to open up hashtag United at the back. Newcastle United have been relentless so far in this second half. And they're on the charge again here, and looking for the free kick, and they'll get the whistle. Nichols is the one who's penalised. Well, this was the chance. I think just about everybody in the stadium thought that was hitting the back of the net, but Angel had other ideas. Just for a moment, the stadium held its breath. What a brilliant stop from her, though. What can Kelly provide from here? She lifts in. And it's sent back in by Cataldo. And now McQuaid looking for the corner. And she'll get the corner as well. Newcastle heaping on the pressure. Gibson. Well, there was a nice flight on the delivery. It will drop to McQuaid, who caught the volley pretty sweetly. Never really looked as though it was heading in the right direction, though. It sails past the post. And it's a breather for hashtag United, and you feel that they need one of those. It's been a busy 10 minutes of this second half for them. Nichols grabbed the goal to get them back into the game. And she's picked up a yellow card. I will confess that we aren't 100% sure as to why, but the referee saw reason to give Macy Nichols a yellow. The trouble for hashtag is when the ball has been at this end of the field, they just haven't been able to get any kind of rhythm going in the second half. There's Galloway. Emily has some time, but not that much time. And again, she does really well. So too to Newcastle, tenaciously won back here by Galloway. Looks as though Hashtag are preparing a substitution, and perhaps that's needed. It's fair to say that they have been second best in this second half. Here comes the change. Gemma Baker is the one who will be replaced here. And she will be replaced by Williams. It has come to the time where it feels as though fresh legs could be really important. Goes towards the corner of the field. It's a big up and under. That doesn't cause any trouble for Grace Donnelly, who's been pretty quiet so far in the second period. Newcastle get the ball up to halfway, looking to break forward again. It's turned around the corner quite nicely by Galloway. We'll have to stop play here though. Now, Kelly looks as though she's caught something on the face. Newcastle players not so happy with the decision. Momentum of the Newcastle break is broken down with the stoppage. And we look to build things back up again here. Plenty of good chances in the second half, one for McQuaid, one for Barker as well. There's Barker, who races away, has a look up before playing in the pass. Lumley there with the clearance. Lumley didn't get the shout, I don't think, from the goalkeeper there. Kelly's clearance over the halfway line. Forward here by Stobbs. Wilson wasn't able to bring under control. Well, the question mark is, have Hashtag managed to weather the storm that came in the early part of the second half? Becky Langley sending her team out charged up for the second period. Down into the corner by Gillard. This back there, and she can make the clearance. Kelly fighting for it. And Newcastle back in control of the ball. Williams the substitute with the touch. And away goes Nichols. Nichols' pass into Rowland. She was the one clearly identified before the start of the game as the big threat for Hashtag United, but she hasn't really been able to get into any goal-scoring positions, particularly in the second half. McQuaid run into a spot where she couldn't really turn away. Williams has come into that midfield area to add an extra body in the second half for #United. And it has to be said, since her introduction, there have been fewer breakaways by Newcastle. They're going to have the chance to build one here, though. Lovely there. Able to do what she needed to do. Newcastle United are getting ready to make a change. Casey Elson, who's been a constant threat on the right-hand side of the field, will be replaced here by Dodds. The other change, big name about to come on for Newcastle. Galloway has had a tough afternoon up against #'s two centre-backs, but she's seen plenty of the ball. Newcastle's top scorer, though, unable to find a way beyond Frankie Angel. And Paige Bailey-Gale comes onto the pitch. The former Arsenal and Leicester forwards arrived pretty recently and has been in good form for the club. 4 goals in 6 since arriving. Has pace and skill in abundance. Rowlands trying to turn, had 2 for company. It's a very different proposition now for the 2 #United defenders, as they come up against Paige Bailey-Gale. It's a tough battle in there in that central area. Neither team able to make too much in the way of progression through there. As it stands, we are heading for penalties. And extra time would come before that. Becky Langley trying to get the team going here. Not sure what she said at half-time, but it definitely seemed to do the trick. But have managed to hold them up ever so slightly. The change by bringing on Williams making a big impact for them. Sammy Rowland is the latest player for # to feel the effects of a knock to the head. This was the challenge here. Stops, clearing the ball away. Pindia is the one who manages to get there first. Quaid on the run. Now joining the attack here is Stobbs. She's got room, looks to pick the pass. Falls to McQuaid. Unable to get the ball out from under her feet quickly enough. And that's a nice turn around the corner by Percy. And now #United have the chance to break away. Griffin's ball. And now Rowland for #United. Brings out a brilliant stop from Donnelly. #United on the break looked really dangerous all of a sudden. And Newcastle United needed their goalkeeper to come to the rescue. Pindia into Rowland. She makes the breakaway. The cross is intercepted though, and turned away to safety. Well, this looked as though it was likely to be a second goal here for Hashtag United. Roland did ever so well. Got the shot out from underneath her feet. Only to run into Donnelly. The reaction tells you that that was a big chance. Here comes the corner. Beyond the head of Percy. And dealt with by Newcastle United. At least momentarily there will be a throw-in for Hashtag on the opposite side. All of a sudden the momentum in the game has taken a swing. It's now very much with Hashtag United. Ball of Cataldo, who has conceded the corner. This corner in towards the front post. And doesn't quite make it through. Covered by Gillard. And it's a looping effort that hangs up in the air, and it was certainly dropping. It drops though onto the roof of the net. Looked as though Frankie Angel had that one covered. And Newcastle United making another change. Alicia Bonney is the latest player to come on as a replacement for Greenwood. Third Newcastle United change. Nichols was trying to find a teammate. Not too much room in there to operate, in all honesty. Gale's touch into McQuaid. Newcastle have two on the left-hand side. One of whom is Cataldo, and that's a brilliant recovery by the returning Griffin, who manages to make the block. Gale, nice delivery, good header away though by Apindia. And stops. That's a nice delivery into the box. Dodd sent one in. Angel there to grab hold again. The floating ball, certainly asking a few questions at the back. Angel has and continues to have a good game though. So does Potts at the back for Newcastle. Commanding presence back there. Both defences have really impressed. Roland trying to connect with Percy. Had a big impact in the first half, Percy, with the assist for the goal. Haven't seen so much of her in the second half. Our way through for Nichols. Hashtag will try the more direct route. The pass was overcooked. Roland won't get to that one. One brilliant chance in this second half. Donnelly made an excellent stop to deny her. Newcastle have been denied at the other end by some brilliant saves from Angel. Here is Percy. Threads it through where she finds Rowland. She spins, darts between the two defenders and manages to make the cutback, and hashtag United have a second. Grace Donnelly, the goalkeeper, was committed as Rowland weaved her way through, and waiting there, the substitute, Phoebe Williams, able to touch the ball into the back of the net to bring huge celebrations here for the hashtag United supporters here at Kenilworth Road. Well, it's a big step towards the trophy lift in the FA Women's National League Cup final for hashtag United, thanks to the finish from Phoebe Williams here. Well, real credit has to go to Sammy Rowland in the build-up. Did ever so well to pick out her teammate. Looked as though the moment had gone as she went beyond the two defenders, and then had the presence of mind to pick out Williams, who was waiting. Here in Newcastle now, looking for the instant response. They come to life after the goal. And Pindia gets the danger away. Well, that doesn't look good from the Quaid. Well, there have been far more shots on goal in this second half. Both teams a lot more attacking. It's been a brilliant spectacle. Not so much for Newcastle United fans, though, with hashtag going ahead. Sent forward by Angel. Hooked on by Pindia, looking for Rowland, who was waiting on the edge of the box. And on by Lumley. Well, she said before the start of this game, hashtag United had nothing to fear, despite the fact that Newcastle are a full-time outfit. And they have played with no fear. They will make another change here. Watt into the action, and it does appear that Jasmine McQuaid was injured. Oh, she was really effective, played really well in that midfield area. Had a couple of really good chances too in this second half. And she'll be disappointed to leave the field, but it was clearly a decision that she had to make. Teams can make 5 substitutions. Newcastle have now made 4. Gale can't connect with a teammate. Percy at the other end does very well. Held the ball up, but then didn't release the right pass. Well, as we head into the final 15 minutes, this is where Newcastle have been so effective across the season. More goals than anyone else in the league in the final 15 minutes of games. They are the only full-time team within the league. And so that does mean that they tend to have better fitness. Possibly, though, the belief that comes from playing in a final like this and the rush of adrenaline from going ahead means that hashtag United will be able to find that extra piece of energy that perhaps they might not necessarily normally have. They've done well here. They might be in for goal number 3. Percy trying to hook it goalwards. Unable to get beyond the Newcastle United defence. All started to look slightly desperate back there for Newcastle United, with the consistent headering as Hashtag United got to the first, the second and the third ball. And Hashtag are on the attack again. And this time Roland is wide of target. Got the header away from danger. Williams, who has so far in this game possibly scored the decisive goal, works on. And Kelly is looking for the whistle, and she gets it too. Hashtag United doing everything they can to keep the ball at this end of the field. Newcastle on the break. This looks promising for them. Angel with a body behind the ball stops the effort from Katie Barker. He's looking for a bit more energy here from Newcastle United. The pass back might be short. And Roland. Oh, she made a heavy touch, gave Newcastle the chance to get back. And Nichols sends it back to Opindia. Curling ball into the area. Into the head of Cataldo. Barker still full of running. Scored the winner in the league against Wolves last time out. She's into the area here, and the bending strike isn't too far away. Curls it beyond the post in the end. In truth, the angle did always look quite a difficult one to score from. But she came through with such confidence. Would have been some goal, especially in a final. Unable to find the target in the end. She's been a lively customer on that far side of the field, giving Hashtag plenty to think about. Into the final 10 minutes of regular time. And as it stands, the trophy, the FA Women's National League Cup final trophy, is heading the way of Hashtag United, which would be a huge moment in their evolution and their development as a women's football club. Newcastle United fans, though, there is still plenty of time, as I'm sure you are aware. Well, Angel was very nearly caught out by the pace there of Paige Bailey-Gale. Newcastle will have to chase absolutely everything now, all the way through to the final whistle. Away by Gillard at the back. And Percy is in there scrambling. It's all hands on deck now for Hashtag United, doing everything they can to work down the clock, waste the seconds where possible. More and more being sent forward here for Newcastle. Potts is one of those who's going to try a luck here. Well, that would have been a moment.
Is 3,719. Thank you for your amazing support.
3,719 in the house. Those Newcastle fans not looking the happiest at the moment, though. Newcastle looking to do the double this season. There is a strong chance that they take the title in the league. And there was a feeling that this was the start of something, but as it stands, it's Hashtag who are standing in their way. Off goes Body. Carried the ball a long way here for Newcastle United, who can't turn. Hashtag's defence standing firm. Well, that doesn't look so good. Team with a bit more work to do. They've certainly been busy today. Williams, the goal scorer, needs attention. There was a yellow card there for Jason Stevens for his reaction. The coach suggesting that the player needed treatment. I think Hashtag might be forced here to play on without her on the field for a moment. That certainly will be the case. They're just going to have to try and hold the ball up, and that's exactly what Roland is trying to do. Whilst they have one fewer on the field. She's squeezed in a lovely pass in behind, and now she will meet it on the edge of the area. And I think she was just hoping to keep hold of the ball. Instead, a chance presented itself here. Did excellently to work it around the corner, and then was there to meet the return pass on the edge of the box. Griffin found her. Roland stumbled though, and wide it goes. Newcastle United living fairly dangerously at the back. Wasn't the best kick away by Donnelly here. To get lucky. Williams continues to receive treatment here. Away goes Barker. Barker lifts in. And again, the Hashtag United defence standing firm. Well, surely here there has to be a decision from the side of the field. Newcastle with an extra player on the field because of the bloodied nose of Williams. Paige Bailey-Gale, was she challenged unfairly? Many Newcastle fans here inside the stadium suggesting yes. The referee waving play on. Here's Barker now. Barker's turn, brilliant sliding challenge. And she's prevented from hitting the target with the effort that certainly looked goal-bound. And Percy thumps away. This was the moment where Newcastle thought they should have had a penalty. wasn't enough for the referee. Well, V Percy, as she likes to be known, will be replaced here by Franck. And she had such a big impact on this game. What a brilliant ball it was for the opening goal for #United, the goal that gave them the chance to get back into the game. Scored in the end by Nichols. But she has definitely made her mark on this final. Well, Phoebe Williams, who was on the side of the field for what felt like an absolute age, is now back onto the pitch. And #United are restored to 11 players for the final 2.5 minutes here, although you would imagine there could be a spot of additional time at the end of the game. Bailey-Gale can't release a teammate here. Newcastle scrapping and drawing a save. A brilliant stop from Angel. There's another appeal for a penalty. Bailey-Gale going down underneath the challenge and cannot believe that the referee has not pointed to the spot. Dodds drawing a brilliant stop again from Angel. And Franck, who has only just come onto the field, didn't do enough for the referee to point to the spot. Well, it has been an action-packed second half here in this final. And it's #United who, as it stands, are heading towards the trophy. Down into the corner they go. Crossed in by Griffin. Hangs on the top of the net. About to hit the 90. And there will be a minimum of 5 minutes added to the end of the game. Five minutes for # to hold on. 5 minutes for Newcastle to punch back in the game. Definitely more Newcastle fans here within this stadium, within the 3,700 inside the ground here at Kenilworth Road. Doing their best to get behind their team. Promises to be a frantic ending here. Bailey-Gale unable again to get beyond Gillard, who has been phenomenal at the back for #United. Lifted on by Gibson. And again, the ball is sent away. Another change for hashtag. And it's the scorer of the first goal, Nichols. The 17-year-old on loan from West Ham. Who got the goal that started the turnaround here. Replaced in the final few moments by Keogh. Down into the corner they go. Clearance away by Donnelly. Here is Franck, who will lift it through the middle towards Roland here. Roland, for a moment, looked as though she might have the chance to finish this one off. She was, in fact, in an offside position. And Newcastle not hanging around, as you would imagine, taking it quickly. A long, hopeful ball lands at the feet here of Paige Bailey-Gale. He wanted to take it a bit too quickly for the referee's liking. Newcastle lift one to the edge of the box, and the excellent Lumley is there. She has won just about everything in the air at the back so far here this afternoon. Hashtag come away with the ball, and they have worked it wide here towards Apindia. And Apindia is still going here. Looking for Roland. Roland dispossessed. Just 1 minute of the game to go. Well, if Newcastle were to pull it back from here, that sure would be dramatic. It looks as though Becky Langley's team are heading for defeat. In the league this season, they have only lost the one game. They'd won their 8 previous coming into this one. Into the corner it goes. And still they go, and still they push. Hashtag United looking for another. Franck dribbling her way through. The hashtag fans here are calling for the whistle. And there goes the whistle. They dared to dream, and they have done it here. The FA Women's National League Cup now belongs to hashtag United. Well, it's disappointment here for Newcastle, who created a flurry of chances early on in the second half. But under that relentless pressure, hashtag United dug in. They hung on in there and they grabbed the goal, and there is the winning goal scorer. The substitute Phoebe Williams making a massive impact on the game. They were the underdogs coming into this one, and now the emotion will pour out here. Such a huge game against a team associated with a Premier League club, but Newcastle United just couldn't find a way in this second half beyond the really impressive Frankie Angel, the goalkeeper. They have played without fear, and Hashtag United have got the win here. Hashtag United 2, Newcastle 1. And as a result, the winners of the FA Women's National League Cup are Hashtag United. Well, the expectation at the start of the game when you saw Newcastle United on the fixture were that there would only be one club that could possibly do it, but this team, well, you have to question how far could they go. Maybe, just maybe, the dream can be realised. YouTube sensations with a huge following online, but, well, we've never previously seen that translate to success on the pitch in football. But possibly this is just the start of their journey. Well, they are, to many people, heroes and celebrities. They have been recognised all over the world on their travels. All of the people behind the scenes at the club who work so hard and have worked so hard to get the team to where it is here. This will mean so much. What a brilliant season it has been. They have exceeded their expectations in the league. And this, you feel, is far beyond their wildest dreams here. She deserves to celebrate. Percy really got things going here and gave Newcastle something to think about with her ball into the penalty area that was finished off in the end by Nichols, the 17-year-old. Disappointment for Newcastle, but you feel that there will be brighter days for this team. Well, these guys are used to the cameras. There's a wonderful spirit within this team. If you have seen anything that the team puts out online, you will see that. It's a real sisterhood. And as much as the forward players here for Hashtag United will certainly get the credit, Courtney Lumley in your picture there, alongside the captain, Grace Gillard. They were both so superb at the back. And Jason Stevens' superb career, well, it continues to take on new shapes. I wonder how long before they are competing in the Women's Championship. May not be too long. Well, the lady of the match given to Sammy Rowlands, who had such a key role to play in the build-up to the winning goal. When it looked as though she'd lost the chance to do anything, she squeezed between two defenders and then played a brilliant pass towards Phoebe Williams. Well, you would imagine on Saturday night, the celebrations will be pretty wild for this team. Before the start of this game, there was an interview with Becky Langley, the coach of Newcastle United, and she said, football isn't all glamour. It's about turning up every day and doing the same things over and over again. And all of the graft that these players have put into this now for #United is all worth it. This is the glory moment here. All of the training sessions, all of the grind, all of the games to get themselves here, all very much worth it. This is what it's all about. West, excellent along the right-hand side here for #United across towards the supporters who mean so much to this club. You would imagine that Macy Nichols will have a few signatures to write. Jason Stevens struggling there to hold back the emotions, and this is an emotional ride. Who must have been a strong contender for the player of the match. They did ever so well in the second half against a wave of Newcastle pressure that never really felt like it was likely to let up. But it was the change by Jason Stevens to bring Phoebe Williams on that seemed to make such a difference. And now that is theirs. We can look back on the highlights of the game, of which there were plenty. It was a really lively encounter here in the FA Women's National League Cup final. Newcastle definitely started the brighter of the two, and McQuaid's had a chance here after excellent work by Galloway that she couldn't quite put on target. Newcastle was certainly setting the tempo in the early stages. Cataldo did ever so well to dig out this cross into the area. And when you saw this moment here, the own goal, Apindia with the final touch, you wondered whether or not this might not be their lucky day. At her angles all wrong, Newcastle were ahead, but what about the turnaround from #United that came after this? The equalising goal didn't take long. Percy was a key contributor, touching it back towards 17-year-old West Ham loanee Macy Nichols. A wonderful strike, and just like that, #United were back into the game. And then came the Newcastle United pressure, clearly sent out in the second half by Becky Langley to put this game to bed, and chance after chance came raining through. Angel with a brilliant stop here to deny McQuaid, got down ever so quickly to make the stop. And then this one, well, you thought this was to be their moment, until the outstretched leg from Frankie Angel came flying out to deny Barker. And then Roland came to life. Hadn't had much of a chance in front of goal in the second half. This was perhaps the warning sign for Newcastle. An excellent save by Donnelly to push away. But then Roland did this. It looked as though she'd run into a corner of the field where she couldn't do too much. Then she played the perfect pass in towards the substitute Phoebe Williams for the goal that proved to be the winner. Percy again involved in the build-up, but it was all about Roland. And then the finishing touch. With the goalkeeper committed, Williams had what was, in the end, a simple winner to score. Although she, of course, had the stress of the final to think about, I'm sure. Barker was lively, and plenty of Newcastle players tried their luck. This was perhaps their closest to finding the equaliser. Barker able to cut inside, the angle always looked acute, and she just couldn't quite find that corner. And they pushed on right till the end. A brilliant save again from Angel, and then a shout for a penalty. The referee didn't feel that that was enough though.
I can announce that today's player of the match is selected by former Lioness Jewel Coulthard was #United number 11, Sammy Rowland.
Well, she scored 2 in the semi-final, so that #United could be here. She is the player of the match. Well, as we prepare for the trophy to be handed over here to #United and the celebrations, the officials will firstly come to pick up their medals. Sue Huff is there, handing out the awards. They were busy, the officials, in this second half. There were 2 big shouts for penalties for Newcastle United, both turned away. And it will be interesting to hear what Newcastle make of those in the post-match conversations that will no doubt happen. Player of the match given to Sammy Rowland. There is Baroness Sue Campbell, the FA Director of Women's Football, giving out the Player of the Match awards to Sammy Rowland.
So once again, we're going to invite the runners up to the stage, led by their captain, Amber Keegan-Stotts. Let's give it up for Newcastle United!
Well, Amber Keegan-Stotts leads the way, captain the side here, and it could have been a very different story. Could so easily have been the case that it was Newcastle lifting this trophy. They certainly had plenty of chances, especially in the second half. Normally this team find a way. They have become specialists in scoring late goals, as those Newcastle fans will attest to. But they just couldn't find a way beyond Frankie Angel. Katie Barker was excellent, carved out a number of good opportunities. Although you feel for Newcastle, trophy lift won't be too far away. Top of the league, and they looked destined to lift that trophy. They just couldn't quite get the job done here. And the cup double evades them. Made their changes, and Paige Bailey-Gale certainly asked a few questions of the #United defence in the second half. Who managed to hold on. Sue Huff in the brown coat, the chair of the FA's Women's National League. And without question, everybody associated with the Women's National League, I'm sure, will be delighted with the spectacle that we've seen here. Well, they have played with no fear. There are no limiting beliefs within this club. And this may well be the start of things for them here. The winners, and in the end, deserved winners in the FA Women's National League Cup final. India coming through there, must have thought that this wasn't to be her afternoon when she scored that own goal. What a turnaround though, and what an afternoon it's turned out to be for these players. Goalkeeper Frankie Angel with a number of top saves. Courtney Lumley, excellent time and time again. Player of the match, Sammy Rowlands, the final player to come through. Well, she was the perfect captain here this afternoon, led by example from the back. A true leader and a winner. The winners of the FA Women's National League Cup final are #United. Against the odds, they dared to dream, and without fear, they drove on to beat Newcastle United here. Some achievements, and maybe this is just the start of things for the YouTube sensations as their journey in women's football really starts to get going. Thank you for joining us here. It's been a brilliant afternoon, especially for fans of #United. They are the winners of the FA Women's National League Cup in 2024.